James Laughlin, welcome to the Marketing for Business podcast.
Pleasure to be here, Scott. Thanks for having me.
Mate, we're going to have a great chat. I come in every day into the office and I say top of the morning. And I think you're the only other person I've heard say that in New Zealand.
So many people give me hell for it, particularly other Irish people. Like, why are you doing that?
Yeah, I love it. So whereabouts in Ireland are you from?
So just north of Belfast, tiny town called Ballyclare.
Oh, wow.
And been 20 years in New Zealand, but grew up Northern Ireland amongst all the fun and games that were there.
Well, the beautiful part, you've never lost your accent. I think I was there. I was there in 95. I went to go to around Ireland for seven days, stayed 4.5 weeks, and it was an amazing time.
You loved it?
Yeah. Oh, unbelievable. The people were amazing. So, hey, but what I want to chat today, look, I remember we met up in a cafe in Sydenham. I actually put a picture up that we're going to have you on the podcast, and people were just hounding me. When is this podcast happening? So I'm stoked that you're here. No, but also I'm stoked for this. Like, you've just brought out a brand new book, and I think I have the second copy after your son. How good is that? So, Habits of High Performers. Look, this is kind of what you're known for. Tell me a little bit about the book. And as we go, I've got so many questions. And we talked off here just before. This podcast is for business owners. I really want to dig deep in how we help business owners perform at a higher level, but how we help their teams perform at a higher level as well. So, man, appreciate this. We're going to have a great chat. Firstly, tell me about the book.
Yeah, well, thank you, Scott. I appreciate you mentioning the book. Book is now out on shelves at any good bookstore.
Yeah.
But the thing about high performance is that all of us can achieve it. And to me, high performance is consistently exceeding norms whilst maintaining healthy relationships and well-being. And Scott, I didn't always do that very well.
Yeah.
You know, people might have looked at my life and go, God, he's a 7-time world champion, a 15-time national champion. He helps others do it. Man, he's a high performer.
Yeah.
But actually, underneath the hood, I was drinking way too much alcohol.
Yep.
My marriage was doing this and declining and eventually ended in divorce.
Oh, wow.
Like, it wasn't pretty behind the scenes. That's not high performance. And I think that many of us get caught up in our careers, really obsessed with winning in our careers and making money. And we've got to make money, let's face it. And we'd like to do well, but at what cost?
Yeah.
So when I look at high performance, I look at holistic high performance.
Yep.
How do we win on field and off field? So that's what brought the book about. I had no intention of writing a book, but someone at one of my events said, James, what we've done over the last day or two, that's a book.
Nice.
I was like, what? No, it's not.
Yeah. So someone else realized that, hey, what you've got here, the content you've got here can help a lot more people. When did you catch yourself that you weren't at your best? Because it's one thing to perform like that and be drinking too much and, relationship not going well. Was there a point, though, that you caught yourself and dragged yourself back and thought, hey, James can do better than this?
Yeah, I definitely think separation, divorce was like such a pivotal time in my life. It was a stop, take stock, look, journal on what do you value, who are you, what means the most to you as a human, as a dad.
Yeah.
If you have another partner in the future, what's that going to look like? What's going to be different?
Yeah.
And so I was actually literally 300 meters from here. I lived on Beely Ave and Durham Street, little apartment there. And I was just every day journaling, what does better look like? What do I want? How could I be better? And that was such a pivotal moment. And yeah, I think we all have those moments in life. They come in different forms.
Yeah.
Hopefully not everyone has to go through separation.
No.
But yeah, it happens. And it was the good thing for me.
Good that you had journaling and self-reflection there, right? And I think that's one thing, every business owner could be doing as well when times get tough. And I hear a lot in the economy and a lot of people talking to a lot of people, hey, times are tough, times are this, times are that. But I also think sometimes, well, what about inside your head? Yeah. Maybe you could take some time to do what you did and self-reflect and journal a little bit. What was that process like for you? Because I think most people could do that. Will they do it? Well, maybe not. But what if they were listening to this going, you know what? I'd like to do some of that. What did you actually do?
Yeah, great question. Look, the first thing I'd say to the viewer or listener is don't be a should head. And Scott, sometimes my accent gets me in trouble.
Yeah, I was going to say.
Don't be a should head. Shooting all over yourself. I should have done this. We should have done that. My employer should have done this. The client should have done that. The government should have done that. Stop saying the word should. Start turning it into musts.
I love that.
So I would get down my must list rather than my should list. And your must list is usually a lot shorter than the should list.
Yeah.
So getting really clear on WMI, what's most important in your life. So for me, Scott, that's really simple. Family, fitness, finance, learning, and business.
Cool.
And business is number 5.
Yeah.
You're like, James, you spend a lot of time in your business, but it's number 5. It is number 5.
Yeah.
If I get those first 4 things right, I know that my business is going to be fine.
Yeah, nice.
But if my family relationships, my fitness, my financial fitness, and my learning, if those are out of whack, I'm not going to be valuable to anyone.
No, exactly.
So I got really clear on that and spent a lot of time on what is most important.
I like the must, like, because you can hear people in their language, oh, we should be doing this, or try that. Or actually, what is it you must do? And for a lot of people, like I know for me, one of the things I must do is be home for breakfast in the morning after the gym, might go and have a coffee, but I'll be home to see my family. That's a must for me. And one of the other things is own the morning. So I'll be up, I'll go to the gym, and then so I've owned that part of the morning. That's a must for me. I know I'll perform better if I do that.
Yeah, master your morning, master your day, right?
Yeah. And then if I have my family time, perfect as well, and it does set you up. So were you just starting to write about that? Did you just grab a book and start writing about, hey, these are the things that are important to me? And then started writing some things out around that every day?
Yeah, absolutely. I think for me,
do you think that repetition really helped you though?
Repetition is everything.
Yeah.
Like if people are looking for success, literally find out what the one or two things are that you need to do and repeat them every day.
Yeah. So give me an example of that for maybe someone that you've helped, and how did that play out? Because I think it's real easy to hear this, and I want business owners to hear it, but then I want them to understand that this can be done.
Yeah, 100%. And I think that's really important, that high performance is not reserved for the elite few.
No.
It's for anyone. But there's certain steps. If people want to do it, I can take you through the habits of high performers.
Yeah.
Right. So if I'm working with someone or a team, this is exactly what I take them through. Whether it's New Zealand Army, Scott-based leadership team, someone running a tiny business or a big business, it's the same 7 steps.
Nice.
Number 1, get radically clear.
Okay.
Get radically clear. What is it that you want? I always ask people, what do you want? If you start with, it means you don't know what you want.
Yeah.
So get clear on what you want. Play the long game when you're getting clear.
Okay.
What's the point in setting goals for 6 months?
Okay.
A year. Set them for 10, 20, 30 years. That way you have more patience. When I say,
yeah.
God, we got to do
I got to do that.
Yeah.
Watch the clock. Do you think, because a lot of people go, oh, get radically clear, and they struggle with what is it they actually want. Do you advise sometimes to actually teach people about what is it they don't want and reverse think that?
100%.
Engineer it?
I call it kill the business.
Kill the business.
So if I was working with a large agriculture business, and they do some big dollars, but they also have some big challenges when it comes to that. So I says, guys, you've got 6 months, executive leadership team, how are we going to kill this business? Absolutely obliterate it. And they looked at me like, you're nuts.
Yeah. It's not the conversation they paid you for.
Yeah, totally. Give us our money back. But they had fun doing it. They strategized, how would we kill it? And they go through all the things that would kill their business. And all we did was flip reverse that.
That's brilliant.
And that essentially gives them a roadmap for, well, how do we supercharge the business? Look, I think when we're getting radically clear, something we don't spend enough time on is our values. And values always make the vision.
Yeah.
So what do you value? And again, people go, at a CEO I was working with in North America, and I said, what are your values? He gets a piece of paper out of the drawer and he goes, loyalty, commitment, integrity. And he got to about 7.
Yeah.
And I says, mate, cut it out. How many do you have?
Yeah.
He went, we've got 11 values here.
No.
I says, look, I don't know a lot about the Bible, but I think Moses only needed 10 for the whole world. And you need 11 for your little company here.
Yeah.
So,
and they're in the drawer.
They're in the drawer.
Yeah.
And they might be on some kind of piece of strategy document.
Yeah.
Look, what drives your decisions are your values.
Yeah, totally.
So get clear on what you value.
Yeah.
And if you don't know how to find your values, ask yourself, what do I value in other people?
Yeah.
And if I wasn't here, say you weren't here, Scott, and I was chatting to your staff, what would you want them to say about you?
Yeah. And they'll say what our values are, because we have 5 of them.
Tell me.
So the cool part is we have 2 that are in the Hall of Fame as well. They've been retired. So be team focused. It's all about, so when we have Core Values Friday, people, that's the core value that comes up all the time. So we have a stand-up meeting every day, but on Friday, it's about core values in action. So what are the core values that you've seen? And be team focused will be the one that people mention. That's all about being, it's not, just because it's not your job doesn't mean it's not your job. It's about being team focused. And we've got a situation tonight. We're going to go and film something that we're doing, a presentation. Some person one of the team can't actually go now. Someone else has already switched in and said, hey, put their hand up and said, I'll help.
Amazing.
That is be team focus. Another one, and this is a really cool one that the team designed at our team day last year, was courage over comfort. Being able to step forward and take courage over just not doing it. So a good example of that is recently we had an AI in action presentation, a lunch and learn for our clients. Sam, who's been in the business 3 months, I put it out to who wants to speak. Sam put his hand up, courage over comfort.
Amazing.
And so our core values, and I can keep going on the 5 of them because I love them. The other one, what I really, really love is influence through insights. So what I mean by that is, okay, team, how are we going to influence people by sharing insights rather than just giving them more information? Because people don't need more information. No. They want insights. They want the back behind the scenes of what's going on and how it's going to make their business different and how you're going to help them. So we share a lot of video content. So 2 guys that have never been on video before, Will and Jonty, sat here last week, shot a video on Google Ads and Google Analytics.
Unreal.
Sharing the insights, not sharing information that people can find, sharing the insights that work for business owners and what they're doing right now.
That's so valuable.
And so those core values, they're actually up on the wall, but we live them every week. Address the elephant, eat the frog. That is such a good core value. That's around having 10% conversations. We've got a saying here: issues don't have feelings. Right? Issues do not have feelings. So if you've got a problem, you bring it up. And you can't run around that and not I guess, be afraid of having those conversations. And because we address that in the core value, it allows people to do it. The other one, and this is a really, really clear and it's for business owners, is results, not reasons. We understand that business owners, they do not want a whole bunch of reasons why everything's gone wrong. And they don't want a whole bunch of reasons why it's gone right either. They just want the results.
Yes.
I remember one day there was a young fella, he was writing this email reply that something had happened, and a lot of times with results, not reasons, we will just take ownership even if it's not our fault. Okay, so there's something happened, and there's an entrepreneur, big entrepreneur in New Zealand. We were working for him. Something else had happened, and my guy was writing this email, and I just stopped him when he said, "What do you think of this email?" I said, "I think you should just pick up the phone and call him."
Do the right thing.
He don't want to read that. In the day, he just wants us to fix it. It's not our problem. I get that, but results, not reasons. Picked up the phone, had a chat to him, sorted it. So our core values, I love the 2, they're retired as well, but those core values we live and breathe every week.
Do you know what you say a lot? And I want people that are listening and watching this, you say the word we a lot.
It's because that's what it's about.
It's amazing.
Yeah.
But not everyone does. Often leaders of business, it's I.
Yeah.
I did this. Yeah. I thought of this. I put this together. I developed that. You haven't said I once.
No.
That says a lot.
Well, the cool thing about it is when our team day, because when we started the business, me and Liv, we designed our core values. And as we've evolved this business, one thing we've realized is, hey, we need to bring other people in and they need to create the core values. We've got a team of 17 here now. So, what if they've got some of those things? What if some of the things they believe are up on the wall and get mentioned in our daily meetings and we talk to our clients about, And that was a cool thing. Courage over comfort came out of that. Address the elephant, eat the frog came out of that.
Unbelievable.
Yeah.
Simple stuff. But again, I often say the common sense values are rarely common practice.
Well, when you talk about, values make the vision, that's really clear for us because that's what it really helped us do because, without it, you kind of like, I don't know, when you hear integrity and you hear honesty, well, that givens, right?
Of course.
So
if you're not doing that stuff, like, God, what kind of company are you, right?
Well, how can a value of honesty make your vision?
Yeah.
Really. So, that's what we do, mate.
I love it.
Yeah.
That's amazing. Well, once people get radically clear, they've got to get out of their head and onto the page. Having all these ideas in your head, get out of your head, onto the page, document it. The greatest entrepreneurs can do it on a handkerchief.
Yeah.
It doesn't take a 12-page document, and it doesn't need chat GPT.
No.
It needs true thought from a real human and a team.
Yeah. And I think this is the when you talk about that, that's the part that makes it different today too. When you bring yourself to the game.
100%. And that's like with books. I know someone could have written this using ChatGPT in minutes.
Yeah.
I spent years writing it. And I refuse to read a book that's written by ChatGPT. Why?
Yeah.
I want to know from Scott. I want to know what he learned in 25 years in marketing, and I want to apply that.
Yeah.
I don't want to hear some LLM tell me what to think. I want to hear.
No, look, and here's the thing as well. Because of that, you're getting more depth of conversation. I guarantee. Look, I haven't read the book, but I'll be reading the book. There'll be a depth of connection in there that won't be at the same in some of that writing that those large language models pull out of them.
100%.
Okay, what's number 3?
So that was number 1 was get radically clear. Number 2 is, before I tell you what it's called, Scott, you're full of BS.
Full of BS.
Belief systems.
I love it.
Your belief systems, right? So I'm going to ask you a question. And for everyone that's watching and viewing, feel free to type this in. You can tag me. I will not be offended. Don't be kind to me. I want you to literally, the first thing, name as many things that come to mind when you think of an Irishman. Go for it. What do you think, Scott? What comes to mind? No, don't think of my feelings. Just
No. So seriously, I met a couple sitting in the corner of the pub, drinking Guinness and playing the spoons.
There we go. Spoons, Guinness, pub, anything else? Fiddly potatoes.
Oh, like rugby players. They're and also people that are very welcoming and very hospitable.
Amazing. So everyone else might have put other things in there. I see leprechauns come up often, pots of gold. A great rugby team does feature quite often, I must say. But that's your BS. That's your belief system.
Yeah.
So when it comes to high performance as a business owner, you've got to realize, what are my belief systems and what are my team's belief systems around success, failure, customers, regulation, compliance, money. What are those beliefs? So I don't know about you, but I grew up believing money didn't grow on trees.
Yeah.
So it was nowhere and it was scarce. And if you did find it, you tuck it away under a mat and make no interest on it.
Totally.
That didn't help me. So we've got to figure out what we need to rewire.
Yeah. And sometimes that's not that obvious and you need help with that, right? I know from a money's perspective, I went and got help with that. And it's amazing what came up, and it's amazing how my life changed once that old belief was unlocked and just, what it was crazy. But a lot of beliefs have been given to you,
100%.
By someone else with good intention, and parents were probably just trying to protect you, but are not serving you. And that's a real key as a business owner. Examining those belief systems is huge.
And I mean, you can examine 150 beliefs, but in the book, I take people through an exercise, very practical exercise around what are the key beliefs around business.
Nice.
And how do we improve those? And then how do we actually start repeating those beliefs? Because you and I probably believed in a pretty fat guy in a red suit with a white beard at one point. Yeah,
totally.
He delivered presents on Christmas Eve. Now, overnight, at about 9.5, someone told me that my parents were doing that. I didn't believe in the big guy anymore.
Yeah.
So your beliefs can change, but you've got to repeat them to yourself. So I do a lot of incantations with clients. So saying and writing down over and over what you believe about money, success, business. And that just starts to rewrite the script internally. Yeah.
I write every morning about kind of money and about business and, journaling stuff. Amazing. It's really interesting. And also being grateful. It's a small practice, but it's amazing. It strengthens those belief systems. And I think that's really, really important. Like I did the work to change some beliefs and now just crystallizing it and making them stronger and stronger every day.
And what you repeat yourself, you believe, right?
Yeah, totally.
I think about as a kid sitting in Northern Ireland, I wanted to get out of Northern Ireland. I wanted to travel. And I knew my ticket was drumming. And so I would sit at like 12 and just visualize the performance, the world championship medal, winning it over and over and over, hundreds of times.
Very good.
To the point when I got to perform, I was ready to do it.
Yeah.
I could handle the nerves. So that visualization piece is really key for business owners too. You might be focused on a difficult economic time, competitors, all the noise, but start to visualize what you do want, what you are trying to attract, your ideal customers.
Yeah, and sometimes it's just like visualizing that one thing that you want, right? Make that come real to you so you can start to have some confidence with it that you actually can do it. On a podcast yesterday with a young girl, and she's created a really successful business. And it took her a long time to believe that she was actually worthy in doing this. And then one day she woke up and realized, oh my God, everything that because I always say to people, one of the ways to get, a guy asked me once, how do you get to the front of the buffet queue? And I'll ask you that, how do you get to the front of the buffet queue?
Use your 2 feet.
Yeah, well, what do some people do?
They push their way. Yeah,
or they go out of the queue and they come back. They go out of the queue again. The best way to get to the front of the buffet queue is stay in the queue.
Yeah.
And when it hit me, and he was talking about, hey, Scott, stay focused. Like you're, and then this is what I was talking to this girl about. She had stayed focused enough that finally her belief kicked in that she was good at what she was doing.
It makes sense. It's a long game, right?
Yeah. Yeah. And she didn't believe. She faked it. She kept saying fake it till you make it to her. But actually, when she started to realize, actually, I've stayed around here long enough, and now I believe in what I'm doing. And now she started to employ people.
What a legend.
Yeah.
I love that. And when I think of her, I think of this, that the long-term consequence of short game thinking is regret.
Yeah.
You know, I just want to get this next 90 days. Let's sprint. Let's do it. Let's crush the opposition.
Yeah.
Slow down.
That's why I hate the 90-day nightmare in marketing. Marketing is a long, long game. Yeah. And sadly, some people, don't have the mindset for that. But if you do, you win. And if you do, you get better customers, you get better relationships, you get better everything.
And it costs you less.
Costs you less. You build a better brand.
Yeah.
Like it's just...
I've learned the hard way.
Yeah. We won't go there.
We'll look at the horror stories of digital marketing. Now, number 3, lead your life on purpose. Of course, I'm all about that. I run a podcast all on purpose, and I interview some of the greatest leaders in sport, business, and politics. And I go deep on what drives them, what gets them out of bed. So someone who's got a small or medium business, you've got to have a purpose behind what you do. So get clear on why we do what we do.
Yeah.
And connecting with philanthropy. You and I met at a charity breakfast some time ago, and it's like, make things matter. Do work that actually matters.
Yeah. So where does someone get their purpose from? What do they got to do to drag their purpose out? Is it once again sitting down and finding, out of those values, what's really important to me?
Yeah, I find that people get a little bit overwhelmed with purpose, and it's almost like an expectation. You've got to find your purpose.
Yeah.
Here's something I'd love people to do. Answer these questions, write them down. So what makes me cry?
Nice.
What upsets me? What keeps me up at night? What angers me? What change would I like to see in my community or the world?
Yep.
And that right away starts to go, oh, geez, it's to do with kids. It's to do with humanitarian. It's to do with animals. It's to do with, the local community schools really struggling. Your purpose doesn't need to be fixing the world. We don't all need to be incredible people like Mandela. It would be great if we could, but just a small purpose. It could be looking after your family, putting food on the table.
Yeah, totally. Yeah, and that's a great place to start, right?
Yeah.
Well, so ours at Digital Influence is to educate, influence, and inspire growth together, right? So we know like stronger businesses, stronger communities, right? And so we're big believers in that. And influence and educate. So tonight we're out doing a 60-minute talk.
Amazing.
In front of a whole bunch of business owners here in Christchurch. Influence, educate, inspire growth together.
And your podcast too, like you're constantly putting out amazing content.
Giving value in advance before people ever give you any money, I think is one of the greatest things you can ever do in business. And I challenge every business owner that they can do that. With a little bit of thinking, you can create value in advance. And I think that's one of the keys. When you look at your purpose, take your lens off you.
Yeah. Look at others. Yeah. I look at this. There's 2 things, passion and purpose.
Yeah.
Passion is for you. Purpose is for others.
Yeah.
So find your passions, do what you love. And for me, I'm doing what I love.
Totally. Same.
Yeah. You can see it. Like it oozes from you. But then you find purpose in that as well.
Yeah.
And there's ways to actually add value.
Well, the cool part then is you get to use what you're doing to actually help charities, and we've got, 3 charity partners that we're working with that we give time in lieu of and supporting them. And it's real cool to be able to, this month we're behind this Inspire Foundation, and this month they have had the biggest number of applications for grants they've ever had in their 12-year history. And Paul, right there, he is like so happy that we're getting the word out to be able to help and inspire more kids. And I
think that's incredible.
Our goal is part of that, to be able to play that.
Right? It feels good, right?
Yeah. Oh, man. And
Can I take it off the charity lens for you for a second and just say what you've just said is critically important for the business listener that's listening right now? So the biggest killer of any business is obscurity.
Totally.
If people don't know you're there.
Yeah.
They're not coming to find you. They're not going to buy your product. So this is where you come in and go, that's exactly what we do. We solve for that obscurity problem.
Yeah.
We actually equip you, give you the insights, and give you the tools for people to know that you're there.
Yeah. Yeah, look, you can't sell a secret. And the fact is, you've got to have consistency of message. You've got to have frequency of reach to become relevant. The more relevant you are, the more people will buy from you.
100%.
And that's the world we live in today. The world we live in today is actually a lot harder too. Back in the day, you could... Well, there was only one TV channel to advertise on, and now, look, everyone's got a TV in their pocket, and, if you're not in front of it, your competitors will be.
Oh, 100%, undoubtedly.
Lead on purpose. I love that. Lead your life on purpose. That's a really good one. Lead your life on purpose. Be really intentional about what you are doing, how you are showing up, and you'll be surprised how the world actually, takes notice too.
It helps you say no a lot more.
Yeah, so true.
The next one is multiply your motivation.
Okay.
I hear people say, look, don't talk to me till I've had my coffee. I need a couple of coffees. I'm like, well, that sucks. Why don't you just drink the coffee because you love the coffee? But if you're relying on things, substances to pick you up, food, drink, vaping, whatever it might be, if you're relying on that, you've got some problems around motivation. If your team are relying on extrinsic things, money, bonuses, status, power, fame, if we rely on those things to motivate us, we will burn out or we will eventually become very miserable. Success without fulfillment is the ultimate failure, right?
Yeah.
So intrinsic motivation, we've got to have a blend of, we all need money, don't get me wrong, but we need that intrinsic blend as well. So doing stuff that actually matters. And being motivated from within. You know, Daniel Pink had great research in his book Drive all around what are the 3 ingredients for any team leader to be able to drive their team: autonomy, mastery, and purpose. Those 3 things. If your team members have those, they're going to be driven. So I really think we've got to manage our own motivation.
That's a big one, autonomy as well, right? Like people these days, and God bless them, they don't want to be micromanaged. They want to be able to be left to be able to do their best within a series of guidelines, I believe as well, but not micromanaged. Not, hey, what are you doing today? What are what's happening here? I think that's really, really important. Mastery is a good one for us. Our theme this year is Thrive in 25. Own it, elevate it, celebrate it. So you're going to own your role this year. There's no going to your leader and asking, oh, how do I do this? How do I, blah blah blah. No, you own it. Then also your job is to elevate it. That elevate part comes into mastery. How are you going to master what you're doing, and how you're going to live and be your best? And then obviously we're always going to celebrate it because that's one of our things here. We celebrate our victories. But it is really cool to see people looking to them, you can see them motivated because they're wanting to be better.
100%. And I think when people can commit to that long game of mastery, great things happen. When you stay in the game long enough, you end up winning. It's when people they'll go so fast that they'll start to take shortcuts. And they'll start to take shortcuts on their morals and their values. And that's where you see businesses fall short. Don't do that. Play the long game. Don't always look for GP and slow down.
I heard something really interesting. The guys from Opus Partners on the Property Academy podcast the other day, they called it the compounding click. And it got to a point where property starts to compound. And then Andrew Nicol there started talking about business and how Opus Partners went along for a period of time and was just going okay. And then all of a sudden, the length of time they'd been in business, everything just started to click and there was exponential growth because of that. And I was like, man, that's exactly what's happened here as well. Because you stay, you master something, and it might be things, and I think this is an area where business owners can really focus in on. At any stage of your business, master relationships. Get good at the people stuff, Get curious about your clients. I just messaged a client before. I was talking to him the other day as someone was in hospital. I've left it a couple of days and messaged him. He'll message me back.
Because you genuinely care.
I genuinely care, but like that, those are the little things I think you could do no matter what the economy is doing, is 100%. Mastering those relationships. And I think it's a real skill if you can get that into your business and get your people doing that as well.
I'm with you, 100%. And it's like, I don't believe in transactional networking. I'm just not a believer in that. You do this for me, I'll do that for you. Can we keep track of referrals? I just don't like it. It's ugly.
I don't do it.
No, I refuse. For me, it's long-term relationships, long game, long burn. And it's always like, what's in it for them?
Do you think motivation gets kind of a bad rub as a word? Like, oh, you're the motivation guy, or you're not very motivated. Like, end of the day, what does it really come down to I guess want to do it, because some people just don't want to do it either, right?
Well, there's 2 things to be really conscious of there, because we talk about motivation a lot. There's a psychological component and there's a physiological component. Psychological component, most of us get set goals, have a reverse engineered game plan to get to the goals, believe in yourself, say the right things. But if you've not got the physiological side supporting you, then you're screwed. So when we start to look at neurotransmitters, we start to say, actually, if you've got a dopamine deficit, you're going to really struggle to actually get up and go and chase your goals. Okay. So here's a good example. Rats are wanting to be fed, and they know that if they hit this little buzzer, they get fed, and they hit it thousands, 7,000 or 8,000 times in an hour. Oh, wow. They get fed. Now, if they are dopamine starved, and someone puts food within an inch of their nose, and they're physically starving, what do those rats do? Nothing.
There's
no motivation to move towards it because they have no dopamine. So if you and I have dopamine issues, we're not going to be motivated. How do we deplete our dopamine?
Yeah.
Doing things that spike it. So, being on your phone scrolling, dopamine spikes. Alcohol, dopamine spikes. Being promiscuous, dopamine spikes. All these things end up crashing your dopamine. So we've got to look at the physiological side of being a high performer too. It's not all in the psychological.
Yeah. That's interesting, eh? Like when you start to think of some of the things, cool, I've been scrolling on my phone. Oh, catching myself. This is not good.
How do you feel after an hour of scrolling?
Yeah, I don't feel the best, right?
Yeah.
And I'm like, well, one thing is I feel good at the time because I'm trying to learn something, and next minute I'm learning too much. And then all of a sudden I'm like, oh, God, I just wasted an hour.
Yeah, gone.
And it's gone, right? And and it's really, it does get you though. The good old algorithms are pretty good these days.
Oh, they're powerful. Actually, on this kind of dopamine thing, I had a client come to me and say, James, I'm not getting the results I wanted. I says, well, what do you mean? Well, we're not hitting the rev targets. I say, okay, well, why are you not getting the money? Oh, I was just so busy. Give me your phone.
Yeah.
So he gives me his phone. Have a look. Oh, screen time. Let's have a look at that. Oh, okay, mate. So I see that you've been on Facebook 8 hours and 51 minutes this week. I see you've been on TikTok 7 hours and 33 minutes. I see you've been on Snapchat 7. Okay, all of those platforms, how many clients do you get from those platforms?
Yeah.
And in his industry, 0.
Oh, wow.
I says, you don't have a busy problem. You have a priority
problem.
And so he was lacking motivation. His dopamine was all over the place. He, would scroll in the morning rather than get up. He'd be up late at night scrolling rubbish.
Yeah.
You've got to participate in your own rescue.
How good.
Yeah.
Participate in your own rescue. I love that because here's the thing. Until you realize, until you're prepared to actually do something about it, you're probably not ready to be rescued, but now you are. If you are, you can. And so what should people do? Put their phone away, put it in a cupboard. What do you do?
A couple of simple things. So a lot with the professional athletes I work with, their phone is everything to them. They're on the pitch working out. They're at the gym. But as soon as they get out, like, oh, who's texting? What's happening on social media? They get home and they continue with that. If they've got kids or a family, they're not checking in. So my rule with them is put it in the glove box. First hour at home, your phone's not even in the house. Then we have a 3-2-1 formula that we use. So 3 hours before bed, we don't talk about work at all. We don't do any work. 2 hours before bed, there's no food, there's no drink, there's no nightcap, there's no cup of tea, let your body rest and digest. And 1 hour before bed, this is the one that people don't like, no screens, just no screens at all. And even a Kindle, I know it's got no blue light and all that, but just get the screens out of the way. Interact with the people around you, go for a walk, meditate, exercise, read a book, a real book.
Yeah.
So the 3-2-1 allows you to down-regulate your system, allows to reset those neurotransmitters.
One of the things I've noticed with my son, he really enjoys reading books before he goes to bed.
Brilliant.
And that's, I've started reading more at night as well now too, and it's cool to see. And I've heard more people, the young people are starting to read more at night and get rid of the phone, Personally, I just wouldn't have a phone in the bedroom, but
I think it's a good call.
Yeah, very cool. Man, this has been good. So we're only up to number 4.
Yeah, number 5, this is the one that people don't want to hear. They don't like it. It's not sexy.
I thought the last one was people would want to hear putting their phone away.
It gets worse. So do the work.
Oh,
Actually do the work. Get on with it. I hear so many, I see people going to the gym and they're there early. That's maybe 4:30. They get their watch, they take a photo 4:30, they put it up and they're at the gym. Who cares? High performers who are the best at what they do, they're in the rare air of greatness. They don't tell people how hard they're working.
Yeah.
They just do the work and get on with it.
Yeah.
So I look at this. Do the work in the dark so that you can shine in the light.
Yeah, true.
So just get on with it. Don't tell the world how hard you're working.
Yeah.
I wasn't giving people an update every week. I'm writing page 23 and page 53. And I just spent a month, went deep and went dark.
Yeah.
And to me, the greatest performers in sport, business, and life, they just do the work.
Yeah,
simple.
Yeah, I like that. I definitely, when I was growing up, I probably said too much. And then I remember once someone said to me, hey, you talk a lot. And that was the day that changed for me. I just decided not to talk and about that sort of stuff. I just started to do and show up and definitely, doing the work when no one else is watching and stuff. And I think that was a big one for me because I didn't want to be that person either. They just talked a lot and didn't do anything. That was, it did sting me, but it stung me into action, which is
How
really
good. Because there's 2 types of people in the world, Scott. There's know-it-alls and learn it all.
Yeah.
I want to be around and learn it all all day long.
Yeah. And
I'm curious.
Yeah, curious. And I definitely didn't want to be like that too. I didn't want to learn stuff and then not put it into action too, right? So that was a big one for me. And like you can spot now people that are just talking about stuff too, right?
They're everywhere.
Yeah. So
they've went on ChatGPT before they went into the interview and they've Google top 3 bullet points I should comment on.
Yeah. No, that's not
I'm bad mouthing ChatGPT, but I'll tell you, I do love it as well. I use it a lot and it's fun and it's helpful. But I think when it comes to self-reflection, doing the work, like, don't shortchange it. Take your time.
Yeah.
Get a pen like you're doing, write it out,
Yeah, spend some time with yourself. But, at the end of the day, get on with it, do the work. Whatever you got to do the work. I love every morning at the gym. So I would do 400 press-ups a week, right? 400 to 500 press-ups a week. So I know every day in my phone, I've got to mark down the number of press-ups. And seriously, the good part about that is writing it down too. Like, okay, cool. And I write every set, like I might do a set of 25, then I might do a 10 or whatever. And it's like, all of a sudden you're up to 60. And it's like, oh, cool, I'm going to hit 100 today. And it's like,
there's a dopamine, a nice, healthy, natural release at that point.
Yeah.
Doing the work.
Yeah, doing the work, right? So that's very cool. Do the work. But it does sound simple. In the end of the day, probably doing the work is probably the easiest part. But it's the easiest not to do as well.
It is. And it's common sense, but not common practice. We can often know that we've got to do the thing, but we get our to-do list out rather than our MVP list.
Yeah.
So
talk to me about that.
So any team I work with, if they don't tell me what their MVPs are for the week, they're not allowed to start work.
Okay.
What's your most valued priorities?
Oh, I love it.
Not allowed to be any more than 3. So the team has 3 MVPs for the week. Individuals that I'm working with, leaders, what are your MVPs? And don't bother getting out of bed unless you know what your MVPs are. Because otherwise, the next habit that we're looking at here is focus on your priorities.
Yeah.
Prioritize your priorities. I hear so many people say they're busy. I refuse to believe that because high performers are not busy. High performers say no a lot because they've got a really powerful way of making decisions. Oh, should I go this way? Should I go that way? Should we do this thing first? They've got a metrics for making decisions.
Yep.
And I firmly believe we all need that. I've got a VP decision-making filter that helps me with the hardest decisions go, that's the way I got to go.
Okay. And is that always aligned with your values?
100%.
Yep.
So if you draw just a quadrant and you got V top left, P top right. So V stands for values. So you're spot on there. And P is priorities.
Yep.
So whatever your values might be. So for me, mastery, curiosity, and connection. That's what drives me and what I value the most. And then priorities, I told you earlier, family, fitness, finance, learning, and business.
Love it.
So those things won't change.
No.
So down below, the left-hand side and the right-hand side at the bottom, O stands for opportunities and C stands for costs. We don't like those.
No.
So probably an example. So I'm in South Africa, Cape Town, with Caroline a few years ago, and Sia Khaleesi is the captain of the Springboks.
Totally.
And he has an amazing foundation that him and his then wife started called the Khaleesi Foundation. And we're chatting with the Khaleesi Foundation. They said, James, we'd love you to be the MC and host in London, England, at the Spotify headquarters for Sia's movie release.
Wow.
And this movie is like so...
Just a little opportunity.
Oh my God. Like I'm firing up, right? I'm so excited. The ego is kind of doing this. I'm like, oh my God, super exciting. So I said, yes, in principle. And she says, what do you mean? I said, I need to check my calendar. So I went back to the hotel, got the laptop out and went, oh Christ. It's the same day as my son's, this little thin school production at the Christchurch Town Hall.
Wow.
Christchurch, London, 12,000 miles.
Yeah.
Big opportunity in London.
Happening.
And my son, who was in year 2 at the time, production. So I'm like, God, I'm feeling a bit sick about this. So super excited about going there. This amazing opportunity. So I thought, out of your head, onto the page. VPOC.
Nice. So
then I go opportunities to go to London. I'm listing them all off and meeting people and Spotify headquarters.
Did you ask them to move the date?
That's a good idea. Yeah, both the school and the Khaleesi Foundation. Yeah, that sounds a bloody good call. And then costs. Well, it's a lot to get there. Time off work. I'll have to cancel 2 or 3 keynotes. I'll not see Finn's, production. Then I go to the other side and I go, if I stay and go to Finn's production, opportunities and costs. It became abundantly clear by looking at that through this decision-making filter, what I needed to do. So I rang the Khaleesi Foundation, said, hey, super excited for your event in London. Unfortunately, I can't make it.
No.
I've got another commitment. They didn't need to know what that commitment was.
No, they don't need to.
And I felt a sense of relief.
Yeah.
And I didn't have any uneasy feelings the rest of that day. I was like, I've made the right call.
Yeah.
And fast forward to the town hall, sitting there watching the little dude sing I'm a Little Fantail.
Okay, good.
It's like, that's right. This is where I need to be.
Yeah.
So that's only my way of making decisions, but having a decision-making filter is crucial for all business owners.
I think that's brilliant though. Like to be able to go through that exercise, make a decision. Because a lot of times people won't make that decision, right? So they'll start to overanalyze everything without really making anything clear around why, or they might write pros and cons, but they'll still go round and round and round. And it actually starts to stress. And it starts to stress you just that little bit, and then the next day, then the next day, the next day. And then all of a sudden you realize, or you wake up and you're not making decisions. And when you stop making decisions in business, guess what happens? Your business stops making decisions. Especially if you're a leader in the business, people look to you to be making decisions. They see what you're doing. And if all of a sudden you're not making decisions, guess what they're not going to do?
100%.
And also believe if you stop making decisions, guess what your customers are going to do?
It's right. It's a downward spiral.
Yeah.
It's not good.
No.
And I think that indecision is the biggest cost to any business.
Yeah, totally. But having a framework that you can go to is pretty cool. You've got a lot of frameworks, right?
I think for me, it just helps.
Yeah.
And I feel like I'm an emotional creature, like many of us are. We've got emotions that often drive our behaviors. And so I like to try and remove that and say, listen to your gut, but don't always act from your gut. Listen to it and then add it into the mix. And so I like to get things out of here and so where we can look at them and point at them and help people move forward.
Yeah. And then they can see themselves in the frameworks, right?
100%.
Very, very cool.
And they're replicable. Like someone doesn't need to work with me for 10 years. It's like, here's what you need to do.
Yeah.
Have fun with it. Go and do it.
Yeah.
Like I don't need to help people. I'm not a doctor. Do you know what I mean?
No.
Here's some stuff that might help you and roll with it.
Yeah. And that framework, you can see yourself in it. Go and do it. Report back. And let's just see how you're going. You don't need to hold too many people's hands.
100%.
All right. So that was number 5. And was that number 5?
So 5 was do the work. 6 was focus on your priorities.
Focus on your priorities.
And then last but not least, take no shortcuts.
Oh, nice.
That's the hard one.
Yeah.
Take no shortcuts. Play the long game.
Especially in the world we live in today.
Yeah. Absolutely. Everyone wants things right away. Our next generation, it's our fault. We're teaching them you can download anything instantly.
Yep.
That's not the way the world should work.
No.
And it doesn't set us up for long game success.
Yeah.
So have a plan. I use a success planning system, and I'd happily give it away to your listeners for free.
Nice.
So that's helpful. We can put it in the show notes. But it's the exact system I use with professional athletes, teams, armies. It's so simple. You'll look at it and be like, well, this is so simple. Yeah, but very few people engage with simplicity.
Yeah, exactly.
Overcomplicate. They get Monday.com, all these things that they don't end up using properly.
Yeah, because they're trying to make it simple, but just making it harder.
Totally.
Yeah, cool.
Some of the most successful brokers I've ever coached have a spreadsheet.
Yeah.
And they're in the multi-million-dollar club, and the people that are in the 400s and 500s, they're using all these CRMs and not using them very
No.
Keep it simple.
Just keep it simple, because otherwise it gets too confusing. Okay, so take no shortcuts in your planning. Well, what's the key to that? Like, what have you got? Where do you start?
Yeah, so I don't believe that we should start planning for the year ahead. I think it needs to be a minimum 5-year vision. Mm-hmm. Like, what does the next half a decade look like? Because people really overestimate what they can do in a couple of months, and they absolutely underestimate what they can do in half a decade.
Totally.
So I like to play a little bit of a longer game. And if people are willing, let's go to 20 and 30 years. Mm-hmm. But at minimum, 5-year vision.
Yep.
And again, I bring it down to, don't give me a list. Give me your 3 to 5 MVPs. So the question I would say is, Scott, in 5 years' time, if you and I are sitting here together, and I say to you, how's it been the last 5 years? You say, James, it's been the most epic 5 years of my life.
Yeah.
What needs to happen for you to be able to say that?
Yeah.
So that's where I start.
Yeah, totally.
Get clear on that.
Yep.
And then bring it back.
Yeah.
12-month game plan. What are your 3 to 5 MVPs there?
Yeah,
and then
we run something pretty similar in our business using the EOS system, the Entrepreneur Operating System, and that's a cool thing to do. We live in 90-day worlds, but we think out strategically.
Beautiful.
1 year, 3 years, 5 years, 10 years, and it's amazing to think when you start looking at that. Okay, we've actually just done that, or that was a 3-year goal, and we've already done that,
You're probably way ahead of your targets.
Yeah, but it's like, did I not think big enough?
Well, that's the problem. Most of us don't, because fear of failure, fear of what other people might think of us. A lot of us make decisions based upon what we think other people think. So for the person that's driving the Range Rover, the Tesla, whatever it might be, I'm going to challenge you right now and ask you, are you driving it because you love it and it feels great and you bought it because it feels just unreal? Or is part of you going, it looks good, my neighbors are driving those? Ask yourself, is it extrinsic, money, status, power, fame, or intrinsic, I love it, it feels good? Make decisions on your clothes, your neighborhood, your car, your education, all your decisions based on what's right for you, not what other people think of you.
Yeah. That's a big topic, and it could be a podcast on its own, right? Like, I was lucky enough to learn a long time ago, a gentleman guy by the name of Brad Sugars, who owns Action International. I remember seeing him here in Christchurch, and he said something, and it just always stuck with me. He said, what anyone else thinks of me is none of my business.
100%.
And I was like, man, if I could teach my son one thing, and it wasn't at the time I was thinking that, because I wasn't thinking of having a son, but I was thinking, if I can teach him to not worry about what other people think, I win the game, because I think that's really, really important. Today, we worry too much about what other people think. The reality is they're not really thinking about that. Or you, or
99% of people are not thinking about you or I.
No,
they just aren't.
But we do let ourselves get held back by it.
We're in a comparison world. I got a athlete who'd be a household name in New Zealand, and he came to me on a Monday morning in tears. I'm like, dude, what's up? Did you see the gram? I went, what?
Yeah.
Did you see the post? I went, what post?
Yeah.
He said, about the game. I was like, no. He said, did you see what the person wrote? I went, no. I was like, how many comments were there? 1,100, but did you see that one about me?
Yeah.
I was like, dude, of course I didn't. But it was eating him up.
Yeah.
He was so worried about this keyboard warrior.
Wow.
And the one thing he'd said was like, something you're a has-been. And I was like, that was enough to throw him off for weeks.
Yeah.
And this is a professional athlete with all the mental skills in the world.
Yeah.
It can throw any of us off when we start to worry too much. We can care about what other people do in their lives. We can care about their feelings, but we should never worry about what they think about us.
No.
Like, if you can take care of your character, your reputation will take care of itself.
Yeah.
It's the same in business.
It's an interesting one, though, because it's one of those ones that's you can hear it, but then something might come across you, and it just triggers you.
100%.
And I, lucky enough to talk to a lot of people about this, because I'm curious, why did you let that affect you? And a lot of it just comes down to, where they're getting their inputs, and maybe not spending that time reading a book, being alone, the comparison because they're scrolling, or they're seeing other things and they're seeing other people succeed. They're seeing what I find really interesting is that a guy come to me, he's very successful, been in business 24 years in the digital marketing game. And he was really concerned about all these young people because they were driving Porsches and they were doing this and doing that. And I was like, dude, most of those are on tick. Like, he goes, well, what do you mean by that? I said, well, most of them are just on finance, And he goes, how do you know? I said, I've got a mate that owns finance company. I can find anything, and like, it's all smoke and mirrors.
It's a facade.
And he was really worried about it. And I had to tell him, hey, dude, you are doing amazing stuff. Like, what are you, look at everything you're doing, but I was surprised by that, that people do get caught.
They do. And the more you can simplify your life, the more successful it's going to be.
Yeah, totally.
The people that I've been fortunate enough to work with that are billionaires, I can tell you what, a number of them miserable. They've got all the money and all the things, but to get there, they've had to make some big sacrifices.
Yeah.
I would say most of us don't want to be billionaires. If you look at what it costs from a human perspective.
Yeah.
But many of us want freedom. We all deserve freedom.
Yeah, I think a lot of business owners sign up for creating freedom. So let's talk about that, because hey, look, we've been going 50 minutes, and I know you've got to be at another place, but I want to talk about freedom. How does someone get free? Like how to as a high performing, because here's the thing. A lot of business owners start a business, and I was talking to Di Foster on the podcast, and she looks after accidental business owners. So, some business owners start a business, and all of a sudden, accidentally, next minute they're employing 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 people, and all of a sudden, that dream of becoming free is no longer. What would you say to a business owner that's maybe caught in that trap at the moment? They've lost that vision of what they really wanted the business to be, and all of a sudden, they're employing other people, and they're struggling to get those other people to buy into their vision without, because most business owners get the bad rap, oh, you're just in it for the money, what would you recommend? What would you say to that person? Apart from read your book, of course.
Yeah. So I think, first of all, what is freedom? What does that look like?
Yeah.
Many entrepreneurs who start a business, they realize they've actually created a job for themselves.
Yeah.
And there is no freedom. So it's going, what does this business look like without me? So if Scott was to step away, is this a business or is this just Scott with a bunch of people? And if he disappears, it's worthless.
Yeah. The beautiful part about my business is it's not about me.
How good.
Yeah.
That's brilliant.
It's really intentional. And it's been hard work to get it to that point.
But worth it.
But worth it. And when I mean by hard work sometimes in silence, just by going, hey, well, some people will come to me and they want to know answers. And I'll go, well, yep. But firstly, what do you think?
Yeah.
What do you think we should do?
That's beautiful.
And people are like, well, they just want the answers. And the cool part about it is now my leaders have people under them, and guess what? They do. What do you think?
Yeah. It's the greatest coaching question you can ask.
Yeah.
Like, what do you think?
What do you think?
You know, I think that there's 3 questions that everyone's got to be able to answer. And I often get people asking me, you know, oh, I'm trying to get this. I'm trying to be more free. I'm trying to grow and scale and sell. 3 questions. What do you really want? What do you actually really want? Can you define that? What does that look like over a long time frame? Secondly, how badly do you want it? If it's a nice to have, just give up. No point in trying. If you really badly want it, great, you're going to get it. And last question, the most uncomfortable one, how much are you willing to suffer to get there? And we could change suffer for sacrifice. How much are you willing to sacrifice to get there? But those 3 questions, you've got to be radically clear on that. If you're not radically clear on that, chances are you'll go around in circles. You'll say yes to everything. You'll be busy being busy.
Yeah. I remember back in the day when I wasn't too clear on my vision and my values. You know, I was just going round and round in circles because of that, right? Got clear and really understood, and then did some work financially. Went to emotional freedom tapping and breakthrough there. My business started to grow and started to galvanize people. The right people started to come together. And you know, I was willing to sacrifice a bunch of stuff. And it was really interesting. My wife and I, we had a son, young Louis, late. We're in our early, 40. Basically, I was 39, she was 41, I think. And so we made a commitment. Hey, when he is older, school holidays, we're taking off. You know, we take school holidays off and there's no guilt there. Because here's the thing, the 15 years and the 10 years until up to that, we'd sacrificed, you know, and we were working a lot and for no real reward. And now we're in a position, but it was sacrifice back in the day.
Of course. And for anything that's worthwhile, there has to be some sacrifice, a bit of suffering to get there.
Yeah.
There's no shortcuts.
Yeah.
For anything that's worthwhile, you've got to be pushing the boat out.
So as a business owner, really dig into those questions, you know, how badly do you want it? And I think a bit of that comes down to your personal why, right? Like how badly do you want this to happen, you know, and really be clear there, like, because if you're not radically clear, you're only gonna you'll half-ass it.
Oh, without a doubt. And what's the point in that? You've got one shot at life. This is not a dress rehearsal.
No.
Get after it.
No, exactly. Hey, this has been an amazing conversation. Let's just switch for a second and let's just talk about this book. What separates high performers from everyone else? Not hustle, not luck, habits. Let's talk about habits for the last couple of minutes of this book and why habits are so important. Because, you know, there's some good books written out about habits, but I think, you know, for people, habits are the things that probably can move the needle if they really understand them. And I'm picking from our conversation, the conversations that we've had. You're really distilling these habits into really actionable things that people can do. So let's talk about that for a second. Who is this book made for? And what are the habits that you hope for these people to gain once they've read this book?
Beautiful question. This book is for the striver. Okay. Someone who's striving to be greater, someone who wants more in their business, more in their life, but also wants that counterbalance of healthy relationships and well-being.
Yep.
So I don't believe in winning at all costs.
Yep.
I believe that we can win and actually have a good life while we do it.
Yeah.
So this is not for the hustler. This is not for I'm going to grind so hard and kill everyone in the way. It's like, this is not for that person. So what are habits? Well, by the age of 35, 95% of what you and I do are automated responses and behaviors.
Yep.
It takes a lot of work for us to rewire habits. So you can teach an old dog new tricks. It just takes a little longer.
Yeah.
So habit installation, you know, if you get this book, I promise you your life will not change overnight.
No.
But if you apply it and stick with it, and I've broken it into 27 little principles, almost daily mentoring chunks. You could read it in a month.
Nice.
And with habits, they take, you know, University College of London suggests with their research, it takes 66 days to install a habit to the point of automaticity, the point where you're just doing the thing without thinking about it. So would you leave the house without cleaning your teeth? I don't think so. No. Right? It just happens. You just do it.
Well, the interesting part there, because I'm curious at this, and one day I was trying to figure out why are my feet on the ground and it's freezing. It's -1 outside. And why are my feet on the ground and I'm walking to the lounge with my gym gear on, you know? And I was like, oh man, I've just distilled this habit. And when it gets tough, I say own the morning, own the day. But I was just like, for me, that's become a habit, you know? And like I get itchy if I'm like in bed and I'm not up, right? I know that that's a habit it serves me well too.
Well, when you think about that, like if we look at the neuroscience of that, so when you do a new behavior, learn a new language, drive a different way to school, get a book that you're reading, it's kind of challenging. What you're starting to do is develop new neurons, and those neurons start to connect with neural pathways. Yeah. If you keep doing that thing every day, those pathways, those little connections between the neurons start to get coded in this fatty tissue called myelin. Wow. So when that myelin is really, really thick, this white fatty tissue, it tells the brain this behavior is a high priority behavior and it doesn't require much energy from you, brain, because we've set up this beautiful little pathway with thick connections. Wow. So if you do that long enough, that's why working out then, or the cold plunge, or reading in the morning and reading at night, like the things that people say, I can't journal, I can't. No, you just haven't stuck at it. Yeah. You shouldn't have to be highly disciplined. Yeah. It's not about that. When I meet people who are the best on the planet at what they do, they're not highly disciplined. They've been highly disciplined for long enough for it to turn into a habit. Yeah. Yeah. It's kind of like a podcast, right? I think we're up to nearly 160 episodes that are recorded in the background, and we're about to release another show during the week, so we'll have 2 episodes out a week. But I look back and I think the habits of just every week. Yep. Showing up every week, showing up every week, showing up. I don't think I could stop now. Why would you? It's part of who you are. Yeah. It's like you hit #1 in the Apple Podcast charts, which is epic. Yeah. That doesn't happen overnight success. No. That doesn't happen fluke. That's like mahi, work. Yeah. It's epic. And when people ask me, should I start a podcast? I jokingly always say no. But I was on stage in Miami and people were saying, I just said start a podcast. It's one of the best things you can do to market your business. I'll be at this presentation tonight. There's 7 things I'm going to share. One of them is starting a podcast. And in that industry, the Kitchen and Bathroom Association, they'll say, oh, no one's doing that. I'll give them 3 examples of businesses and people that are. And so, it's just there's things, if you just keep doing them, they pay dividend. And definitely that's one of them for me. That's huge. Yeah, I think just being committed to doing the things that most people aren't are the things that will get you there. If you follow what everyone else does, you'll probably end up like most others. How do you know it's a good habit? Well, I don't believe in good habits and bad habits. Okay. I believe there are empowering habits and disempowering habits, or useful habits and unuseful habits. Yep. So running, let's take running. Yeah. Now, do you run? Had it. Okay, great. So let's take an ultra marathon runner. They run, their joints love it, and it's great. It's a useful habit for them. You run, your joints might go, I hate this. Yeah. It's not a useful habit for you. In fact, it's detrimental. Yeah. So it's about finding what works for you. Do not scroll and go, oh, that's what Elon Musk does. I must do that. Keep scrolling. Yeah. Focus on what you need to get good at. Yeah. What are the 4 or 5 areas of your life where you need to be better? Yeah. And it could be health. It could be mental fortitude. It could be learning, reading. But there's often big buckets or areas of our life that if we can just develop one new habit in a year, that could supercharge all of those. Yeah. Yeah, one new habit. What a challenge. Like to set yourself up, and you don't have to wait for New Year's or anything like that. Why would you? Pick a date, like in the next week. One is go and get James's book from any good bookstore. Do you sell them online? Yeah, they can go to thehabitbook.com. Perfect. Buy them online. Better for James. Although I send them also to the retailers. And I haven't retailers yet. But if they go there, they get my entire high performance system for free if they order through that website. So good. Yeah. Well, we'll have that in the show notes as well. But like seriously, so pick a date, line in the sand, and then read this book, get the book, and then challenge yourself to change one habit. How good's that? Yes. I challenged my team a couple of years ago to start using AI. This is before ChatGPT came out. Let's start using AI to buy our time back. And we're now getting it 1 hour a week and 1 hour a week. And now we sit in here every Tuesday. The leadership team has a half an hour AI meeting.
And we're about to do something that I didn't think we'd ever do, but and it's going to make the business more profitable, and it's using technology. And I just think, if we didn't have that goal of 1 hour at the start 2 years ago, we wouldn't be having a leadership meeting every Tuesday, half an hour, about AI and what tools we're going to be using, all that sort of stuff.
See that half hour every Tuesday? I would personally pay a weekly premium just to be able to zoom in and listen to that or get a recording of that. That's a podcast in and of itself.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. There's some crazy stuff that's going on that
Amazing.
And we're challenging ourselves as a leadership team to go, you know what? The easy road is to do this. The harder road is to do this.
100%.
And we're taking the harder road. And in the day, that won't be the harder road in 5 years' time. It'll be what everyone else is doing, but we're going to do it now.
Yep.
And it's a little bit scary. But at the same time, that came from that one thing. And I think that what you've said there, choose one thing. One habit. What's one habit that you want to change? This could be for someone listening as a business owner. I know people will tag me, people will message me and all that sort of stuff. Let's tag myself and James in LinkedIn. What's one habit you're going to change?
Amazing.
The one habit goal, like we call it a goal or something like that. The one habit. What is one habit you're going to change? And how long? So you said 66 days,
Yep.
but realistically, how long should people, before it really starts to click in that, hey, that is a habit that's changing what they're doing?
Depends what it is. Like, there's different frictions for different people with different habits. So let's say alcohol is one of those.
Yep.
For some people, that could take years.
Yeah.
That might be a daily commitment for years. If it's reading a book, for example, that might take 3 weeks.
Yeah.
Cleaning your teeth with your left hand rather than your right, maybe a month and a half. Like, it's all different. But I think the 66-day thing, that the research is pretty incredible, that on average, that's what it does take. So that's 2 months. So give yourself 2 months of a new habit every day, make it a daily commitment, and chances are it'll be automated.
Cool. All right. So I challenge you to put your habit, the one habit that you're going to do, put it in the comments. If you see our short form video content on LinkedIn or TikTok or wherever it's going to be, thanks to Bronte and the team for doing that. What is that one thing? What is the one habit, and see how much you can change your life, because I know from experience you can.
Oh, 100%. You're the only person that can. Nobody else can do it for you.
Yeah, and that's the part. That is the rubber where the rubber meets the road, right? No one else can do this for you.
Nope.
You have to decide. I remember leaving the corporate world. I was down in Wanaka. I drew a line in the sand, and I rang up my boss, and I quit. And I'd never worked in the corporate world again. And I remember him saying to me, years later, that decision kind of shocked him a little bit. And I was like, yeah, but where I was coming from is like Wanaka is such a beautiful place, and I realized I was in the wrong place because I hated going to Wanaka. And you can't hate going to Wanaka, right? But that one thing, that one decision, and I think that's the powerful thing here today as well, is make a decision. Whether you're using your framework or just being, hey, draw a line in the sand, make that decision. You can make it happen. So, James, this has been fantastic. I know you've got to go to something else. Can I say what you're doing? I don't know if people
go for it. No, I don't have much.
You're going to help the Australian rugby coaches. What's going on there, my friend?
Yeah, I'm doing a masterclass series. I did it for World Rugby, so all the Tier 2 coaches, Fiji, Tonga, Hong Kong, Canada. Now today is Rugby Australia.
This is awesome.
So Wallabies team coaches and then all of the coaches of all their professional.
Very good.
Fun.
That is good. Do you pinch yourself sometimes to see where you've come from? Years later after you're hitting rock bottom there, and then seeing what you're doing now to help so many people globally around the world.
Yeah, honestly, I'm really, really grateful for what I get to do. Sometimes it blows my mind that I get to sit with incredible people like yourself and the clients that I work with. It's phenomenal. So yeah, there's not a day that goes by where I don't sit like you and write what I'm grateful for.
Yeah, that's awesome. I love it. All right. Hey, so where do people go to get this book again?
They go to thehabitbook.com.
thehabitbook.com, or hey, go down to Whitcoulls and like, if you see this book in Whitcoulls and it's not in the place it should be, just move it to the front, right? Move this book to the front, get people, I love doing that.
I like your thinking. I appreciate that.
I seriously, when I know people who have books, I always move their books to the front.
If you do that, folks, you send me a DM with that. I'll send you a voice note right back with my gratitude.
Yeah. Hey, look, you gotta mark it hard, and look, you'll see this book because it's a beautiful cover, really, really well done. I'm looking forward to reading it. All right. Appreciate your time, man. Thank you.
Thank you so much. That was amazing.
Okay. Hey, guys and girls, one thing. Okay, we've recorded, we've done our bit. We could have talked seriously for probably another 2 hours here, but I want you now to do your thing, and that's share this podcast. Share the podcast out. Share it on LinkedIn, share it on Instagram, share it on Facebook, or just tell one of your friends to go to Spotify, go to Apple and listen to this podcast, because this podcast is going to help people. What James is sharing here, those 7 things that he shared can help you grow your business. It can help you be a better person. It can help probably even your kids, etc. So go and share it. Till then, have fun, and always take action, and as always, celebrate your victories.